All right, you ready?
Yeah. Oh, hello everyone. Welcome again to the Totally Local podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Top Hat. With me, as always, is my co-host, Leo. Hello, Leo.
Hello, everybody.
And we have a very special super duper guest this week, Taylor Allen.
Hey. Hello.
How's it going?
Hey.
Hey, guys.
So, you are a magical man.
Yes, I'm a magician.
From the area.
Yep, I'm a full-time magician. I came here today straight from work.
That's great.
Do you wear that when you're doing your act?
Yep.
So
Speaking of, can I just real quick?
Okay.
Okay. So I've had a lot of back and forth social media love today between myself and a shared universe podcast studio, which is where we're recording this.
Yes, we are.
So there's been a lot of give and take today, a lot of love shared between us on the Instagram and so on. And then I noticed someone here earlier today was making pancakes.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that happened here today. And Ming, I think it must have been Ming, said, "Hey, best dressed podcaster," with a picture of the person in their full. Well, I'm here to say the day is young, my friend.
Yeah. I saw you coming from a mile away.
I'm bright, and I feel like things are a little bit safer now that I'm here.
Definitely. That's what I think of when I think of Taylor Allen. I think bright and safe.
You think safety, you think magic. There's a lot of.
Speaking of safety and football.
Oh boy.
Oh, he's done his research.
Was that the one thing you looked up when you said you did some research?
I was like, what are the names of the positions in football?
Well, I have a question. So is safety on the defense or on the offense?
I feel like safety would be. Okay, now hear me out. Now, my logic behind this is I was first going to say defense, but then I was like, that's too obvious. I think safety means somebody that's doing something on the offensive side just to be safe, to make sure they get a point.
Wow.
That's a good guess.
He stifled his laughter.
I just got sidetracked because I'm thinking, do you guys remember when, like in grade school, when someone would fart and you would say safety so that the other person wouldn't punch you? Was that what it was?
You say safety, and then if the person didn't, you have to say safety, and then somebody would have to say doorknob, and then you'd have to touch the doorknob or they'd beat the shit out of you.
Was that what it was? Was the game?
That was the game.
I'm glad I don't know that game.
Yeah.
What a bunch of animals we were.
Just cruel animals.
God.
So the reason I brought up football is because I don't know anything about. I know enough. I can get by, but I don't. It's like the gene that you need to have to get excited about the Super Bowl is really not.
I don't think that's true.
You know?
No,
I like to party.
That's all you need. Super Bowl is like a big party holiday, in my opinion. It's not a, some people like it for the commercials. Some people like it for the dips and the snacks.
Yeah.
And some people like it for the halftime show. There's a whole thing with it. So it's like the game is, yes, it's part of it. But
it's like kind of like a more fun Thanksgiving.
Yes.
You get together with your friends, and drinking is like socially acceptable.
It's a more irresponsible Thanksgiving.
It's not like just your uncle shows up at 11 a.m. on Thanksgiving and starts hitting the wine. It's like, oh, it's Super Bowl. You can drink right now.
Well, in my house, in my family, it's pretty similar. Okay. My uncle tackles one of my family members.
Perfect.
Britney Spears shows up and sings. It's weird, but it's good.
Oh, that's perfect. That's great.
Yeah.
You are hosting an event in Asbury Park.
Yes.
And just to give everyone a background, like you are an entertainer. You're a showman, and you've decided that this Super Bowl you really want to. Is this the first time you're doing this?
This is the first of many. Surely Super Duper Bowls.
Yeah. I mean, the name alone is great.
We put a lot of work into the name.
do people still get in trouble like in commercials for saying Super Bowl, because they used to be like the big game?
Right. Well, that's what we thought we would get in trouble if we were like big Super Bowl, Asbury Super Bowl Party, which is like probably a better thing to call it because people would know what it is more. But we named it Super Duper Bowl so we wouldn't get in trouble.
I honestly can't think of a better. Sorry, were you gonna say something? You were pointing. I didn't know you were doing something. I can't think of a better host. I've seen you before. I was at a charity event.
Yes.
Where I was in my former life before I retired. I was DJing.
Yes.
And they didn't have a host.
That was the women's.
It was at the Lock
I think
and
we were
Shade.
the only two boys there.
Yeah. We were there, and we stood out a little
Planned
bit.
Parenthood fundraiser.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. And they didn't have a mic set up. It was utter chaos.
Right.
It was a lovely event. Very crowded.
It was great.
That's why it was chaotic.
Yeah.
And then you like stepped out of the shadows like Batman.
Yep.
And like saved the day.
Yeah, I was
basically.
in full Batman garb, which was strange
It
for
was
a Planned
coincidental,
Parenthood
yeah.
thing, but I felt like it fit in.
Yeah,
good.
definitely.
And we really, you had the mic. We really,
Yeah, I
that was
think
our
somebody,
first teamwork.
yeah, somebody was there, and I had whatever my audio gear, and you plugged into it. Somebody
Yeah.
somebody got a mic from
Yeah,
somewhere,
yeah.
and you just kind of hit the ground running. Like
We went for it.
you were just funny. You weren't like you didn't have
Thanks.
anything rehearsed. And
Yeah, we had an auction. I think.
Yeah.
We were giving stuff away.
And it was funny because they were trying to give stuff away, and then there was just chaos because nobody knew what the hell was going on.
No one knew if they had needed tickets or if it was
and that's
very
when
confusing.
that's when I realized I'm like, you should host a Super Bowl party.
Thanks. Well, it's all, and you said that to me that night, and it's all really
It's all come
to
together,
this.
so you're welcome.
Well, I am hosting it with my partner from Calling the Shots, my podcast. My partner Steve Arena.
I saw this guy's name today.
He's the best.
I hope so.
He
but
knows-
his name could carry him, even if he was
Right.
the worst.
He's
He's
in
Steve Arena.
I know it's a heavy.
Oh.
We recently had what's his name, Perez Hilton, on our podcast, do like an audio clip for our podcast.
What?
Yeah. And he called him Steve Arena. I think. I don't know how he
perfect.
pronounced it, but it was nice.
Yeah. It's
But-
a whole different attitude.
Yeah, but Steve knows more about the game than I do of any game. He knows more about sports than me.
How did you guys link up for the this is all based around your podcast.
We started the podcast
Yeah.
together, Steve and I, and we are brother-in-laws. Our wives are sisters.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, and we became very close, and we were like, oh, we both really like sports. I like doing comedy and doing some things like that. Oh, look at this Super Duper Bowl thing up there.
Boom.
So we realized we liked it. We started off doing the podcast as characters. We did like improv, and we would call full games as these two characters that were just like silly versions of ourselves, kind of. And then it was really difficult, and we were
keep
like,
it
"This
going.
is a nightmare." We were like, "We just want to talk about like what's happening." So then we just turned it into us just
right
talking,
on.
and that's kind of what it is now.
And so speaking of football, I'm gonna let Leo kind of take the ball from here.
Oh,
Another
you're gonna
football
pass it
ref.
to Leo?
Yeah.
Wow, what a good segue. So, I mean, for the listeners and for myself,
Yeah.
can you tell us some information about the actual event? Where's it going to be?
So it's House of Independence
Right.
on Super Bowl Sunday, February 3rd, and it's House of Independence. If you don't know, is in Asbury Park,
a lovely
a
venue.
local place,
A very
Totally
local.
local.
totally
place.
local.
We gotta talk to them.
That's like 2 blocks from my house. I could
It's
walk there.
You should, and and we're gonna have so each quarter we're gonna have a pregame by another podcast, Simmons and More. They're gonna do the pregame,
Oh,
and then
cool.
Steve and I are gonna come out, and each quarter we're gonna have different guests come join us. We're gonna basically comment on the game while the game's playing on the big screen behind us.
Sweet.
We have Buffalo Wild Wings is bringing free food if you have
Shut
come in with a
up.
ticket.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
we have some Asbury Park Brewery specials. We have
sweet.
all kinds of stuff. We have Ming Chen of I don't know if you've ever
I think
AMC's
I've
Comic Book Men.
maybe heard of him
He's going to be there.
Oh, I
a
heard-
whole
I
bunch
have
of
heard.
people.
That's great.
Yeah, we have a lot of good guests, and hopefully some surprises in the works. So it's going to be.
So you're excited?
Yeah, I'm really pumped for
That's
it.
cool. How did when did you start to think about getting Super Duper?
We like I said, we watched games and commented on them, and we
Uh-huh.
were like, we should do the Super Bowl. Like that would be a really fun, because we always wanted to do a live show, and we were like, that is the live show to do if
Yeah.
we're gonna do one.
Hell yeah.
And then we were like, so where should we do it? We were talking about it. We were thinking about a small place, and then I'm like, if we're gonna do this, like let's do it. Like
That's
let's
good.
try. And then we went to House of Independence, and they literally were like, don't do this. This is a horrible idea. Not that it's a horrible idea, but they're like, shows just don't do well on Super Bowl. People want to hang out at their house, sit on their
Right.
couch.
Oh.
So we're like, what if we're showing this? And they're like, oh, that might work. Try it.
Yeah.
I
Why?
mean-
Wait. You went to them and posed it as like not showing the Super Bowl?
No, we were like, this. That's our idea, is to
Oh,
show it. And they're
okay.
like, okay, so then maybe that's different, because we've only done like concerts and
Yeah.
comedy things. So we're gonna, I guess, be the first ones with them to show it. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll see if that
I
works.
think that's a
don't know.
great idea.
So are you going to actually do your show live too? So
Yeah,
all of that. Okay,
yeah,
that's
we're gonna
be
record
awesome.
it and then just have each quarter is gonna be a different episode, and then actually in the midst of all 4 quarters, I believe it's our 3rd quarter, kind of at this point falls our 100th episode of our podcast. So it's gonna be a nice
Came
little,
together.
yeah, it's gonna be really fun.
I mean,
Can't wait.
arguably, and tell me if I'm wrong here, but the worst part of watching any kind of sport ball game
Mm-hmm.
is the commentary by the people that are there, because they say dumb things like they got more
Right.
more points right now. What you want to do
Right.
is have more points.
A lot of it is just obvious
Yeah,
talk.
and you guys are just gonna be nonsensical fun.
Right, we're gonna be like saying, we're gonna be probably more talking about the Doritos commercials, and that's going to drag into the game, and it's going to be a lot of that.
So, do you have other podcast people coming on?
I can tell you who's coming on.
Yeah.
We have Kate Nichols and Angelo Gingerelli are joining us. Two really funny comedians in the first quarter. They're both really great. They should be a lot of fun. They've both been on the show. I think everyone that's coming on it has been on the show for the most part. And then the second quarter, we were just talking about the PBR podcast. Those guys are all coming on for the second quarter. And that'll be fun because they're all really into sports and football and stuff.
There you go.
Third quarter, we have from Impractical Jokers, we have Casey Jost and Joan Bergio, two writers. They're super funny. They have a podcast, JV Squadcast. They're going to join us. And then the last quarter, Ming Chen, the aforementioned, along with really funny comedians, Ryan Barry, Melissa Jobin. That's going to be great. We also have at halftime, Maroon 5 is playing the actual halftime show. So we have a cover band covering Maroon 5 at halftime while Maroon 5 is like playing behind them. So that'll be fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be stupid and fun, and
That's
we're
great.
really looking forward to it.
I'd feel more comfortable, I think, going to your Super Duper Bowl party than going to somebody's house.
It's very relaxed. Like it's gonna be crazy, I think, but it's gonna be like you don't have to focus on the game as much. We're gonna try to be putting on a show.
Right. Well, I mean, what's your team?
My favorite football team.
Your favorite football team?
The Seahawks.
The Seahawks.
Yeah, who were just defeated narrowly by the Dallas Cowboys.
Right, they were.
Who were also just defeated. So there you go.
So I think it's probably easier for people who are in this area.
Yeah.
New Jersey, not having the Giants or the Jets in it, it's more relaxed. We don't have necessarily a rooting interest unless the Patriots are in it. I think we all agree we do not want them to.
I think
win,
you're right. Yeah.
Right. So I think it's a great idea. It's a great concept.
Thank you.
And yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go to.
I think
to
I
the
have to
Super
go.
Duper Bowl
It's going to be
party.
really fun. It's funny you said that because one of the things that we thought about was, well, I hope the Giants and Jets aren't in this because that will definitely take people away.
the Jets
but
weren't
then
gonna
we're
be
like,
in it.
yeah, they're not. And the Giants also are not going to. But they were better. Like I mean, they were fun.
Don't make
for
excuses,
certain reasons this year. But like, yeah, neither of teams were going to be in it, so we weren't. But then when it came down to it, we were also like the Eagles are like a local kind of area team, and they just got knocked out. And the Patriots, like you said, it's kind of like it's bittersweet because if they're in it, you want to root against them because they're just this team that can't stop winning. And then you want to root for the underdog, I assume, if you're not a fan. But you also have people local that like the Patriots too. I mean, they're like a big popular team. So
Right. Well, I haven't. I'm super excited for this week's games.
this is the biggest week.
Championship round
Yeah.
this Sunday
The
because
Chiefs versus the Cowboys?
Nope.
the
But-
Colts. The
no,
Colts.
no,
No,
no.
God.
But the Chiefs are in it,
Okay, I got
They
one
are
right.
in it.
and they are playing the Patriots.
Oh,
And
I
then
knew it was
you-
like some silvery.
And then the Rams are playing the Saints, and that decides who goes to the Super Bowl. So that's a big thing for us
I knew
too.
that part.
Because we have a lot of like little bits that we want to do that are going to be based on who's in the Super Bowl. So
Actually, right.
we're like waiting to see.
So who do you think is going to actually make it to the Super Bowl?
I think you always have to fear the Patriots. They're just this annoying, bug that just won't let go. And I feel like it's going to end up being Patriots Saints. I feel like Drew Brees is unstoppable this year, and but I would love to see Mahomes and the Chiefs, this rookie quarterback who has been nothing short of phenomenal, and I would love to see him go and just, have this amazing season that ends with a Super Bowl, at least a Super Bowl appearance.
It feels like it's time for him. It's time for Andy Reid.
Yep.
It's time for them to kind of step it up and go to the next level.
Let's
and
go.
I am so tired of the Patriots always getting there. So this is that's the game for me of the weekend. I'm super excited about it.
And it's the night game. It's like it's set up to be a big.
It's going to be super cold.
Yeah.
0 degrees,
Yeah.
5 degrees.
That's when it's the best.
That's when it's the best.
Yeah.
And I think we have some things. I mean, for all of the anti-Patriots, people, I think there's a couple of things going for us. They had a day less to prepare. They have to travel.
Yep.
Right. So and maybe Tom Brady is getting sold that his arms just fall off mid-pass. We have some things to look forward to in this game.
Listen, there's no one that can't stand Tom Brady more than me, but I have to say, the man is a golden creature of God. He can't. He's a machine. The guy is just like phenomenal, and you can't stop him. He will never fall apart. He will never retire. He will outlive all of us. He will outlive animals, and that's it. Yeah. He's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Well, that was the most I've not talked on my own podcast in a very long time, probably ever. And I'd just like to point out my favorite part of going to the House of Independence is my least favorite part of going to any party is not being able to walk away. And you go to somebody's house or condo, you're in the kitchen, you're in the living room, they follow you in the living room, you got to go back into the kitchen. You could really walk anywhere in the House of Independence.
Go sit at the bar.
Yeah.
Go grab some Buffalo Wild Wings.
Upstairs, downstairs, go bother Jim Norton. You have options, Is Jim working the sound this
I believe he is.
Gentleman Jim?
Yes.
Right, that's good to know.
I believe he is. He's on board. Like, they're all like rooting for us, like as though we are Tom Brady. And they're like, we want this to work for you guys. We just don't think it's gonna happen.
Really?
But they have enough faith to where they let us do it.
Well, the beauty of it too is what I've learned from my years of performing and doing horrible and bombing at things is that if you're one person, say you're a DJ and you go somewhere, well, I'm not cool and I'm only one person, but you got a crew.
A lot of people to blame this on.
So we're supporting you. I'm genuinely into the idea.
Thanks.
I want you to know that.
Thank you.
And after seeing you and experiencing, I've seen you at a number of shows and stuff, emceeing and stuff, but seeing you at the Planned Parenthood thing where you just kind of popped in there, I know that you step up and you keep the party going.
Thanks, man.
So
appreciate it.
I'm looking forward to this.
I can't wait. I can't wait to to see how it goes. I think, like we were saying before, there are a lot of people that just like to party at the Super Bowl that don't care about the game. I feel like that's what our podcast is kind of about. We like sports. Steve and I love sports, but we also like hanging out and watching sports and having some beers and eating food and talking about like a commercial we saw during the game, and just that's the vibe we like to give off. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of we talk about the movie Cloud Atlas a lot, which we were initially going to show the movie Cloud Atlas on the big screen and show the Super Bowl in a tiny screen in the corner, and then we were like, that would be like awful to people.
As a performance piece, as an art piece, that's great.
Right.
But you don't want
but
that.
We just feel like we would jip people out of their
money.
And
people would get really mad.
Right. Which would still be funny for us.
If it was Patriots fans, it'd be funny.
Right.
But, as small as possible.
Just a tiny little Super Bowl.
So we're hoping that the Patriots aren't there. And is there a team, Leo, that you're predicting or wants to win the big bowl?
I think the general consensus is that the Saints are going to go in there and do it, and I think that would be where I'm going to push my chips. I think I'm super excited, and hopefully they make it and win it. What about you? What do you think?
I think the Saints as well. I would pick the Saints. I also if the Saints don't make it, I think I would take the Rams. Right. I think Todd Gurley's crazy, and Jared Goff is an incredible quarterback. I think the Saints are going to take it, though. That's what I feel.
The Saints are in California, right?
Wow!
Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh.
New Orleans.
The Saints are in New Orleans. I'm sorry. The Rams are in L.A. or somewhere.
LA
that's
Rams.
what I meant. I'm sorry. I had a
no, it's fine.
There. I don't genuinely know anything about sports.
I'm sure that's what you meant.
Why are and these are this is the sports fans are probably.
You're talking about the Hawaii Eagles, right?
So why does LA have so many sport ball teams? Why are there three? There's three football. There's the Raiders are out in the Bay Area, right?
Yep.
Oakland.
They're going to be Vegas soon, I believe.
Oh, they're moving. Yeah. Oh, then my question's
But they were. Yeah, no, they were in Oakland.
But there's so many. Doesn't it kind of dilute the fan base out? Aren't people out there just having a good time?
There's a lot of people in California, I think.
Oh, really?
And they're spread out a bit more than the LA, the Dodgers. I'm thinking of baseball now, but. Dodgers, you have the Angels, you have the Giants, but they're all they're far enough away where.
Do people in California really care about sports? It's so warm and beautiful out there. Aren't they too busy having
sex
fun?
On the beach?
Yeah, doing drugs and convertibles and stuff.
Yeah, probably. But then why not go to a Dodgers game and get a hot dog?
Take your convertible and your drugs to a Dodgers game.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I see now. I love baseball now. Thank you. So. What are some what do they do? What do they do in football? What do they do? They pass the ball.
They
around,
do
or?
sometimes pass balls and kick them around.
Well,
yeah, they do.
Well, so they not so if you don't know much about it, you know that they do kick the ball.
There's yards.
There was a huge thing that happened last week, I think, in the Bears Eagles game where the Eagles.
I actually did see
a
meme about that. Yes.
So
I get my sport knowledge diluted for people.
That works.
Yeah.
And this guy missed a field goal. He actually made the field goal, and they iced him.
What does that
which is
mean?
what they call it. They call a timeout as he's about to kick the ball and just fuck with his head and.
The other team did that.
Yeah, and
that's fucked up.
Yeah, and he made that kick.
Swear
He would have made it, and then and it worked for them because then he went to kick it again and he hit the post.
That's poor sportsmanship.
I agree.
That ain't right.
I agree, but it worked.
I guess if your idea is to win and make millions of dollars, then sure,
Right.
play dirty.
But how bad did that guy feel? That missed that kick.
It's like Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
Won.
Right.
Laces
Ray Finkel,
out.
right.
Yeah. Finkel is Einhorn.
Well, one of the things you would have to think though is, if I'm getting paid millions of dollars to do this one job,
right?
That I don't really feel that bad.
I wouldn't give a shit. As soon as I got that check, I'd be like,
I know.
I would just start eating Buffalo Wild Wings.
I would be like, see, here's the thing. Like he's, I guess he did that a few times in the season, 5 or 6 times. He hit the post, which is pretty incredible that did it. I think he did it. Well, he hit 2 posts in that one kick. It bounced off one post and hit the bottom post, which is insane as well. But like, people fuck up. Nobody's perfect. Like this guy is. Hey.
Yeah, but you kind of supposed to be.
Also,
you are.
To his credit, I mean, the ball was tipped just a little
tiny
bit,
tip. Yeah. So a guy
tip.
jumped up in front of it and barely touched it as it was going up. So it could have changed the trajectory of it.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, and he's getting death threats now.
That's dumb.
This poor guy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But people go crazy about sports, and that's where I think it gets a little wild.
I just can't get over the whole. It's called football, but like everyone else calls it soccer.
Right.
So why couldn't they call it something? It's not a lot of foot. The kicker is a little part of the whole major.
Yeah.
I mean, these are inconsequential when people
No,
are
that's
yelling
a big,
at their computers.
No,
right now.
I mean that doesn't make any sense at all. It should be called like throw ball or pigskin or something,
Or
well, isn't it a derivative of like rugby from 100 years ago?
Well, then they should just play rugby. Those guys don't even wear any like equipment or anything. They're
Those
just
guys are
huge
nasty,
and scary looking.
Yeah.
And they just hit each
it's
other.
Really violent. Yeah. It's
so,
cool though.
I mean, it looks really cool, but my eyes start to like glaze over whenever sports is on. I could watch anything, and then when sports comes on, I'm just like, oh
I feel like
God.
you have to appreciate like the certain aspects of it that I love. That like in baseball, I love pitching, and people hate pitching.
Yeah.
People like to see home runs. I like to watch pitching and see like the different pitches, and it's there's a lot of strategy in it, and I that's what I like about it.
It's kind of like knowing Spanish. Like if you're talking to me in Spanish, I'm not going to be interested because I don't know Spanish
That's
very well.
true. Right.
So if I'm watching football, I kind of get it.
Well, I didn't grow up loving football or sports either, and it didn't happen until I started going. I got into college and was in a frat and stuff like that where everybody was doing it. That I was like, I guess I can sit through this. But what really changed it for me was when I found a team that I loved.
And you picked a horrible team.
The New York Jets.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, I always would always
out.
root for the underdog.
Yeah.
So for
you
me,
picked the worst one.
I did
out of all the teams.
There's been some moments of success,
And usually, Andrew, those teams eventually overcome. But the
Eventually.
Jets
It'll be
remained.
like celebratory when they do. In
Yo,
like 30 years
it'll be
or
like
so.
mayhem.
I would just be crying, walking naked from MetLife Stadium home.
Wow, well, that's worth
and they
it
won't
in
even
and
have
of
won. They'll
itself.
just be like, "Sir, you can't be naked in here. You have to walk home." And he's just crying.
It'll be just midway through the season.
You thought they might win.
I
There's
thought
a
they
chance.
may win that game. I
Well,
left
that's-
before the end.
They're like, "Sir, this is a preseason game. You need to leave. Put some clothes on."
I think that's good though, like because if you do like a team that's like horrible, like the Jets, as you say, then you kind of have somewhere to go up. If
Right.
people are Patriots fans or like say a Yankees fan, a lot of people don't like you because
You get used to winning, and yeah.
So that's
get
good.
spoiled.
Yeah.
Even though your team is not good, that's good for you.
Well, it also makes
a
the
way.
game enjoyable, right? Because now I'm not just watching sports. Like I'm watching for a rooting interest, and then it kind of grows from there. Because you're saying, well, then why would you watch?
Right.
the Giants or the Patriots, whatever, because I don't like the Patriots because they're in my division. So now I can watch other games and I have a rooting interest against those other teams. So it kind of expands.
And not only that, if I could think of it on a super superficial level, you know, a lot of, if I'm working, I'm out like doing things, networking and stuff, and I'm hanging out with dudes and they like look dude-ish and they're, you know, burly dudes, and they watch sport ball. Like, I wish I could talk to them, but I cannot.
There's no wall you could break.
No, I need to know something about one of the games or one of the teams.
Now you know all about safeties and you know where the Chiefs are from, or who was it before that we were
the Saints.
Oh, the Saints.
That was a total slip.
But another huge reason, like with the Jets, is that rooting for an underdog team when they do win. Like, look at the Chicago Cubs. When they win, it's that much more special. It's so insane when they win. So like even I'm not a Cubs fan, but I was so happy for them when they won. It was such a crazy moment, you know.
It's the same thing about the Browns. Like, they have been the crap of the league for so long that now that they're starting to trend up, I found myself originally getting really excited.
Quietly root for him.
Baker Mayfield talks too much, and now I'm starting to think, you know what? I kind of don't like you so much anymore. But I mean, that's the thing. You know, you want. If you're a good person, I feel like you want other people to be happy. And when you're constantly just miserable about your team, I start to say, well, I want that city to have some success too.
Agreed.
So what's the loserest team that might be in the Super Bowl?
This year?
Yeah.
I guess it's hard to say because the Saints have been there. The Patriots have always been there.
The Rams?
I guess the Rams. I don't know see, that's where, for me, I don't know the history of that well. Ming might know more than I. Out of the 4 teams.
Like, which one would be, I guess, considered
like
the underdog? I mean, oddly enough, I guess it'd be the Patriots. You know, everyone's.
Would it be?
Yeah, everyone's like.
Well, I guess this season. Yeah,
this season.
But as far as like a team being in the Super Bowl, I guess the Rams or the Chiefs. I would think
the Chiefs. Yeah, just when was the last time they were even in this position? It's been a long time. I think this might be the second time in their history, I believe. So.
And they played against the Bears to get to where they are right now, or who did they play last week to become?
The Chiefs played the. I don't remember.
Who did the Chiefs play
last week? I was
week
over. They were hanging out. Weren't you guys watching sport ball all day?
We were. And the Chiefs.
I watched the game too, and I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Was it the Chargers? No, the Chargers played the Patriots.
Chargers played the Patriots. The Chiefs played. How do we not remember
the other team?
The other team.
Wow.
The Cowboys.
Was it the Cowboys?
It was not the
Nope.
Cowboys.
All right.
Well, I don't remember.
If we only had some magical box that we could look at.
The internet. Yeah, I don't remember.
I remember those good old days where you couldn't, and me and my friends would get drunk and yell at each other about obscure movie references.
Ladies, they beat the Colts.
The Colts.
13.
That's right. The San Antonio Colts.
The Bermuda Chiefs versus. All right. Well, that's good to know. I mean,
some guys just scream, "The Colts! It's the Colts! I'm not going to this fucking Super Bowl thing. This guy doesn't even know."
But there's a Maroon 5 cover band. Yeah, you're not coming. I'll be there. I know every Maroon 5 song.
Did you guys just kind of coming up with ideas for this, and just the idea kind of snowballed into like Maroon 5 cover band?
Yes.
And
well, it was gonna be. We wanted to have a cover band for whatever. Musical guest there was going to be, but we made like a huge board where we do our show, and we put like post-it notes. It's like covered in post-it notes of just awful ideas. And the other day we put like 10 of them together, and we're like, all right, these we have to do. The rest of them are just nonsensical garbage. But we're gonna save them because we might need to use them.
You never know. You never know.
So we'll see.
Are you gonna like live stream it? Or is there some enticement to being like you can't be a part of it unless you're there?
I think that's a big part of it, because we are going to release each quarter as an episode after, so it'll be you could listen to it later.
Oh, that's cool.
But if you're there live, man, you could feel that magic. You could be a part of the recording. You could hear your laugh.
I feel like I could like shrink into the darkness of House of Independence. Like if something's going on and sport ball is very exciting,
it's too much.
Yeah, I could just kind of like go in the back and drink and talk to somebody at the bar that's not interested in the game.
Exactly.
Although the bartender's probably going to be like, "Did you see that play?" I'm like, "I did, but I don't know what happened."
But again, like we'll like we have these great guests, and a lot of them, aside from Ming, really, a lot of them don't care about the game.
Oh,
we do, but part of it for us is like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, and talking to them maybe about why they don't like it or whatever. But a lot of if we have these great guests, we don't want to ruin it having them by just talking about football the whole time.
Yeah, well, and two, it really incentivizes people, if you ask me. Maybe my life is just miserable and I'm just pointing out the negative things, but if your family or friends invite you over to, hey, you should come, and you don't want to go, but you don't have an excuse, now you do.
Now you're like, oh, I have tickets for
I
this
got
thing.
Super Duper Bowl, I can. You should come with us so that I can ignore you there.
Yes.
What? Nothing.
Come to the show.
Yeah, so that's a good point, I think.
That's a great point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I try to, mess up, less and make good points more. So.
Well, this is going to be such a huge event. You have lots of guests coming. You put a lot of work into it. You're about to reach 100 episodes, and we're fairly still a new show. We're still just growing our routine, like what we do, and growing our audience. So what advice could you give to us to kind of get to our 100th episode soon?
Yeah.
What can you contribute to your success? What are some things that help get you to where you are?
I think enjoying it is the biggest thing. You have to like it, right? I guess with anything you do 100 times, you have to want to do it.
Yes.
And
mostly.
I think another thing is doing it as much as you can. So like we try, and we're pretty successful with doing the show every week.
Yeah.
And if we don't, we try to really make an effort to do some sort of like a Skype thing where we just do it, whether if one of us are sick, we try to still like Skype and record it or whatever, just to do it. And the more you do it, I think like the more comfortable you are talking. And
I think that's great advice, and I think that little Icarus here I reached for the sun and my little wings melted.
You got too close.
Because I was trying to do it where it would be me and then a guest. And it turns out a lot of people don't have a lot of free time in the middle of a Wednesday.
It's tough.
So much like you have, Mr. Arena.
Yeah.
I have Mr. Leo, who equally has Leo Mack is such a great name.
That is a great name.
So,
I'm meant to do this.
Can I?
Born for this.
Yeah.
Steve, by the way, says hi, and he sent me this picture from his job just to say hi to everyone.
Hey.
He's working hard today, and he's in a porta potty right in this photo.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
No pictures at work. I'll go to the porta potty. Can't see me. So that's wonderful. You said that Buffalo Wild Wings are supplying the wings.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Oh yeah, because we were like, half of a Super Bowl party is the food.
Yeah.
Like having food at a Super Bowl party is huge. So I have like a family member who has like a nice job there, and I was like, hey, is this?
Connect?
I know this is a big day for you guys, and she's like, it is, but. This sounds fun, and we'd love to promote
That's
like Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
So
and then it's the Asbury Park
Brewery. Yep.
They're doing a new. I just read about like
Panic at the Disco beer.
Yeah.
I
was like, wow, that's so odd.
Pretty cool.
That
they did it. I think once before with them, they brewed a beer.
I think when they did
a
the
surprise show.
Yeah, the surprise show. That's right.
Yes, Graphic actually printed the bass, the drum.
Oh, really?
Like they came in, they're like, listen, it's a super secret show. And I'm like, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Did they make you sign like a confidentiality?
It was all through Adam and Yes Graphic, so I was just some schmuck sitting there. I don't think they really
push
cared
the button
about
and
it.
Like...
But that's great. I really earnestly and honestly love their beer. So
yeah, it's great.
That's a good.
I'm excited for that. We also have. I gotta shout them out if you don't mind on your podcast for some advertisement.
We do epic shouts here. So
this is epic. Liquor Picker toothpicks. Ming's very well versed in them. We are sponsored by them. They just send us free toothpicks. They're great. They're
Liquor Picker?
Yeah, they're liquor infused toothpicks. They're like whiskey and leather.
Oh,
they have some crazy flavors. They're great.
How did you get connected with them?
Someone like we had a whole thing with toothpicks on our show. We were obsessed with them. We had a war. It was called the War of the Woods. We had all these toothpick companies send us toothpicks. We tried them all, and someone recommended Liquor Picker. And we loved them, so we wrote to them. We're like, guys, we love your stuff. Could you send us more? We'll talk about it all the time. So we have not stopped. Every episode we talk about them. They just keep sending them to us.
That's beautiful. And what a good combination with the wings.
That's what
wings
we were saying.
F you up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You get all the little the stringies in there. So you need those Liquor Pickers, and they'll be available at the show.
So I remember from you're obviously from the area. You've been part of the Asbury Park scene, I guess you could call it, for a while now. You used to do a video, Ralph, epic shouts to Ralph Gould. What was the name of the videos you used to do with the band? Was it Drinking with Taylor?
It was Taylor Drinks with the Band, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so you're kind of this is something you're you were an entertaining guy and you like to do that.
Yeah, I was always in bands and in Asbury for years and years, and then kind of transitioned to like solo band stuff, and then would just talk a lot in between songs and kind of joke and like tell stories, and then I was like, I really like doing that more than playing this music, and then I kind of transitioned into stand up, and then from stand up I started hosting a lot of things and doing stuff like that, and I really enjoy that. And like the podcast stuff a little bit more.
What would you say would be your like influences? Like when I think of like comedians that have a guitar, I think of like Adam Sandler. And, like, are there certain people that stick out to you that like have affected what you do or how you do it?
Definitely Zach Galifianakis was always my big person that I really liked a lot. Playing the piano and just telling like really silly jokes. Like I like the really silly jokes. So like that was a big one for me. But yeah, I mean Stephen Wright, like just really weird, simple jokes.
Do you find yourself doing a lot more improv, or there's jokes that you kind of like write out, think about, and methodically kind of like?
I'm not a great joker. There are a million. Like there's a show Hags. I think it was maybe last night at the Saint. It's a monthly show. And it's great. There's so many good local comedians. I'm not as good of a joke writer as any of those people. I do more like characters. Like I'll come up as a like I had a Yoo-Hoo salesman. His name was Devin Sawa, and like half the time I'm up there, I'm just explaining to people that I'm not the Devin Sawa. I'm a Devin Sawa. I know it's weird. Not a lot of people have that name, and I just like keep going and going on and on about it. Handed out free Yoo-Hoo to everybody. And then like in the middle of it's more like that. And then like later in the show, I like came back on stage and asked everyone if I could have the Yoo-Hoo back. That was a big mistake. I wasn't supposed to give it out. My managers, it's just like stupid things like that. That I like doing more.
I like there's a certain mindset that you need as far as like coming up with those. There's people that could sit down and methodically do things. I like doing the podcast because I like to talk, and it's something where I don't have to like think that hard. It just kind of happens, you know. So do you find that when you were growing up, were you just kind of like third grade, were you just like emceeing events and your teacher was like kicking you out of the how's everyone doing tonight, and the teacher's just like, get out of here?
For my I think it was in 5th grade, we had to do a book report on whatever it was. We had to do a book report and dress up like someone from the book and like do like kind of a scene from the book and explain do like a little somewhat of a play, like a monologue sort of. So I did the novelization of the movie Trading Places, and I came in on a dolly with like the scene where Eddie Murphy's on the dolly at the beginning of the movie with Agent Orange and everything.
Yeah.
I did that whole scene like for my 5th grade class, and my teacher's like, who are you, and what is this like 5th grade kid doing?
They let you do it?
I did it.
Did you get an A?
No, everyone was like, what the fuck is this? And like
uncultured stuff.
And I was just like, all right, well, this was the first time I bombed in 5th grade, so it was an easy,
oh man,
it was all uphill.
You really like that's really a part of it too, is you kind of have to get that worked out because. There's people like Dave Chappelle talks about how he went up and he did great for years and years and years. And then one day he bombed and he was like really depressed.
It kills you.
But it's good to fail a lot very early on, because it's either going to make you or break you down. And you'll just, not want to get up on the...
And I feel like it also helps you kind of like figure out what you're good at and what you're not good at. It kind of, for me specifically, it kind of narrowed down my skills a little bit more. Like I was like, man, like these jokes that I'm writing are not hitting at all. But when I do I would dress up like Batman a lot and do like a big Batman routine, and that would like kill. And I was like, oh, this is like these characters are better for me. So that it helped me in that way. But bombing is it's good. It's like you have to,
it gets you ready for
everyone does. Like,
So that's not what's going to happen at the Super Duper Bowl.
No. I mean, well, that's.
Are you coming out with your guitar? Are you going to come out and dressed as Batman? We were surprise us?
We were gonna write a Super Bowl song and sing it, but I haven't yet, and it's only like 2.5 weeks away, so I don't think that's gonna happen. But who knows? But we have a friend of a shared universe, Chris Ladondo is at the show. We're dressing him up like a referee. At the end of each quarter, he's gonna blow a whistle, and it's gonna immediately end those like guests, and they're just done. Like that's it. Like that's the quarter's over, they're done. Like the clock has run out.
Have you done a lot of kind of rehearsing or letting people know? Is there an outline schedule?
A little. We haven't really given it to anyone on the show yet. We've just we've told them what quarters I guess they're gonna participate in, but we have our little outline sort of, and then that night I think before the show we'll kind of get together with people and just give them a brief idea of what it's going to be like. But I do want to leave a lot of it to, like right now, like we're just talking, and I think that's the best way you get good stuff out of things.
Yeah, there's different ways of approaching if you're going up onto a stage, no matter what you're doing. There's like Eminem from 8 Mile, where he's just ripping you apart with his freestyle lines.
Rabbit.
And then and then there's people that go up and they have something really kind of
ready to go.
I couldn't I didn't do very good in school, so you could imagine that I was more of an improv guy.
That's good though. I mean that's, and I think like what were the movies like Waiting for Guffman and what was it?
The whole
I can't think of the guy's name.
Best in Show.
Best in Show.
Yeah.
See, like from what I heard, he would have kind of like outlines for each scene and say like this is what needs to happen, this is where we need to get, and then everything in between just do what you're gonna do.
Larry David does that.
With Curb, right? Yeah. So like that's kind of what we're doing. Like we have a lot of segments and like kind of games that we want to play. Mm-hmm. Besides that, like we don't have anything written, but it's just more of like outlines of where we want to go with each quarter. So
are you doing costume changes, different jerseys every quarter?
Well, that's a little bit of a secret, but
there's surprises.
We do have some wardrobe stuff in mind. I will say that. So we'll see what happens.
So back to what's important here: the football.
Football.
What would you say
the
Kansas City Chiefs, in order to get to the Super Duper Bowl, in order to get to the point where you're screening them during the Super Duper Bowl, what do they have to do in this week's game?
They have to kill Tom Brady. Literally. They have to murder him.
I think the only way that they have a chance is to actually have their defense get to Tom Brady. That's the only way I've ever seen it happen. You have to.
You can't give him time.
No, and the more if you give him time, the game is over. And you can pretty much tell in the first quarter. I can always tell, like in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Is this gonna be? What is this gonna be?
Where's the momentum going?
Yeah.
Is it in the Patriots' favor? If they're all over the Patriots, the Patriots are gonna have a tough time. But Tom Brady can take a kicker that somehow mistakenly ends up on the field, find him in the middle of nowhere, and just nail him with the ball. He is so good. So you have to be all over him.
Isn't he like 50 years old now?
He's 103, which is like the craziest thing. Yeah, he's 103.
I feel like
I've heard for 103 though.
I feel like I heard about him in like middle school. Yes, and, I'm like 65 now, so that must have been a long time ago.
He just keeps going, and he gets more handsome too. It's unbelievable. He's an unbelievable person.
So I mean, you have a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, I respect him so much that I love him.
You respect him so hard.
Yeah.
And then the other two teams, was it the San Felipe
Saints,
and the other
and the
team,
Chicago Rams.
Okay. What do they have to do to defeat? Like, what would the Rams have to do?
What do you think about the Rams shot there?
I don't think they have much of one.
No.
I just don't like them, going on the road. I just think it feels like it's time again for the Saints and for Drew Brees to go in there and do damage. They've been playing at such an elite level. They have those dual running backs that are killing it. I mean, there's just so many aspects. And obviously, to be honest with you, the Rams quarterback, whose name just escapes me, he doesn't seem to actually be 100% like a Tom Brady.
Right.
Like he's not always playing to an elite level. So I think this may be one of those, like, he's still brand new. It's his second, third year.
Yeah.
I feel like this may be one of those, like, he's getting closer to getting to a Super Bowl and being a perennial favorite, but I just don't think he'll have it. I think it's going to be all Saints. Just the experience of the two quarterbacks alone.
They're big in big spots, and Drew Brees is big in big spots, and that's the quarterback of the Saints, and he is good, but their defense can be questionable sometimes, and this against the run, and the Rams like to run the ball, and Todd Gurley is maybe the best running back in football.
But
he's a little hurt. Right. He's a little hurt, but they used C.J. Anderson last week a few times, and he got, I think, 2 or 3 touchdowns. That guy was killer. So, I mean, they have we got all the odds are up. We got the odds here, man. I mean, what are they giving? Okay, so
what does that mean? The odds -3 for the Saints, that they've got 3 less points.
They're giving the Saints 3.5 points, and
the over/under. I think if I knew how to gamble, maybe I'd.
I think that's a big part of it too.
Or maybe that would be real bad.
Like you should one year you should play fantasy football and just play it, and it will wrap you, it will envelop you in
into
football.
Gambling
addictions. You'll love it.
That's
yeah, that too. Yeah.
Wow, -55, -3. I don't get it, but I I don't know. I wasn't good at math in school, and I don't know how this translates into.
All that matters is you come to the House of Independence February 3rd. We're gonna show you a good time. We might not make you love the game, but we'll make you love the Super Bowl.
So how much are tickets?
$12
That's not bad.
ahead of time, and then if you get there, I think it's $15 at the door. So,
Okay.
but again, that includes some free chicken.
That's
getting
great.
some drink specials. We
And
also
laughs.
have
Getting a lot
we're
of
getting a lot of
laughs.
laughs.
Yeah.
You're getting a good show, maybe some surprises, and we also have a tequila that sponsors us. It's called Tanteo Tequila. It's a jalapeno infused tequila.
Ooh.
It's really tasty. So we're gonna have some of
Where's
that there.
Where's that from?
It is from
From
Mexico, and then it's also
Don't be wise,
but
yes,
they're a lot of their stuff is based out of New York. A lot of the people that we talk to with them, so they're gonna be there in full effect. There you go, Tanteo Tequila.
And
Can make some tasty.
what's the deal with this totally epic? What's with the sweatshirt?
The sweatshirts we have? Oh yeah, so we're selling some sweatshirts and T-shirts at the show. We have we gave Ming one recently.
Who did the design on them? Because they are stylish.
So my buddy Chris Lands, another hey, there it is. That will be available at the show. My buddy Local Summer Co. is the name of the company that they do our logo for our podcast.
Totally local.
Yeah, super local, awesome dude. Like if you guys need anything designed, Local Summer Co.
Yeah, our logo sucks.
Check him out, man, because he did that one. He did our podcast logo. He's done a lot of different things for us. We have a side podcast called You Talking Utah to Me. He did that logo.
Wow.
And
Podcast
he's great.
within a podcast.
It is. It's real. It's as dumb as anything can get. Yeah.
Well, I'm really looking forward to this, and I
too.
think my football knowledge is like at capacity for today.
So
I
if you
hope-
learn one more fact, forget it.
That's it. I'm gonna.
It's
be
gonna erase your
catatonic.
brain like
Yeah.
your phone.
Like my
Yeah.
phone. Why would you, after 15 times of getting it wrong, what security feature is that? How does that help anyone? And then somebody could just get into my phone. Why not just leave it so you can't get into the phone?
Just
and
lock
you're just
it.
locked out. Like, why would you have that feature? It's so frustrating.
See, you have the anger right now that it takes to be a pro football. You
I have
got it.
the anger it takes to really not like the Patriots enough to watch football to root against them.
There you go. I've
Yes.
converted another one.
All right,
Yes.
cool.
Before we let you go, you
Yes.
know, one thing we like to ask all the guests that do come on our show, this is about totally local. This is about the Jersey Shore area. So
Yeah.
what are some of the places that you can recommend us to go this week? Check out restaurants, bars, places that we like to go and hang out?
Go to Jersey Shore Barbecue is a great place. I just went there the other night. That's
that-
really good.
is that in
It's in
Belmar?
Belmar. It's right by 10th Ave Burrito,
Yeah.
which is also a good place.
Yeah.
But go to a Shared Universe podcast studio. That's a fantastic place to record your podcasts. Seriously, it's like
Makes
such
it
a
a
great
lot.
place.
Yeah.
There's as far as bars go,
Where would you go watch your favorite sport ball?
my favorite sport ball. I go to River Rock a lot. In Brick. I don't know. I guess
That
it's
sounds like an
considered
Indian
Brick or
casino.
Point.
Where is that?
It's on a burial ground, an ancient burial ground. There's this kid Gage that hangs out there. The weirdest thing, but it's right by my house. It's so it's easy to. I like to go there, and they have a lot of nice TVs. It's a fun place to go drink. Go to Lock and Shade in Asbury Park.
That's where I get my hair did.
That's where you get your hair did. That's where my wife works.
And don't take what it looks like right now as any indication.
it looks great.
It looks like that all the time.
Epic shouts to Lock and Shade and Laura over there because I've tried to go other places. I've cheated on your
My
your wife.
Yeah, I do too. I got my hair cut. I get my hair cut at a barbershop by my house.
I can't. I tried to go to. I went to a place and they gave me like a rockabilly haircut. I didn't ask for that, and I don't know what indicated that. What was it? My white shirt with the rolled up cigarettes, but they gave me this haircut, and I'm like, wow, I really messed up. I have to go back. Because it's you go in somewhere and it's like Lock and Shade,
Right.
and it's like, oh, I'm a guy. I love football. I got to go somewhere else. Turns out, no, I don't like football.
You have the black under your eyes. You're like, all right, I'm ready. Get my hair cut.
But she just cuts it, and I haven't gone in a while, and it gets kind of crazy. But I'm sure she'll fix it up.
She'll fix it up.
You know.
She's good.
So yeah, epic shouts to Lock and Shade
Yeah.
and River Rock and to Taylor Allen here. Thank you
Hey,
very much for
thanks
coming
for having
here.
me on the show,
We
guys.
want to
This
have
is
you
really
back.
fun. Yeah.
You know what you're doing. We'll see you coming from a mile away.
Hey, here I am.
I think we're good. Do you have any other things?
Just again, make sure you are following us on our Instagrams, checking out our websites, and seeing what
TotallyLocalPodcast.com.
That would help.
Where Leo has instructed me that I need to update it regularly so that people can find the old podcast.
Yeah.
And then the Instagram is totally_local_podcast.
And make sure to take a look and see which of the places that were recommended I check out and give some reviews to.
And well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shared Universe Podcast Studio, and Ming, of course. This is Totally Local Podcast, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Have a super duper weekend.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.